Relationships can be filled with a lot of drama, but the majority, and this has just been my experience both in my own life, but also in my work as a life coach, I've experienced that a lot of the drama and suffering that occurs in relationships is largely needless and pointless. And there's really just a couple of areas that if we'll address these two areas, most of the drama and conflict that exists in relationships will just disappear. Largely, it'll just vanish if you understand these two concepts that I'm about to share with you. But before I share these two concepts with you, I want to make a little caveat, or just kind of, there are toxic relationships, there are abusive relationships that do exist. And if you're involved in a toxic, abusive relationship, maybe it has a narcissistic dimension or a component to it, then what I'm going to share with you is probably not for you, because that's what you're dealing with is a whole different subject. What I'm about to share with you in this video is really more for the vast majority of relationships that are healthy. They just have some struggles. Okay, so let me jump right in. These two components. The first component is this, and this is more something that I'm sure you can relate with. Most folks can relate with this. If you're in a committed relationship, marriage, partnership, some kind of committed relationship with a significant other, you've probably noticed that that other person from time to time will do things that get under your skin, right? They may bother you. There may be things, reoccurring arguments or frustrations that come up, okay? If that's the case, you want to take a really good look at it, because the tendency is to want to change that other person, want them to fix something or do something a little bit differently so that you can feel better. Now, here's the kicker here. This is a really challenging concept for us to understand. What you're seeing in your partner, what your partner is doing that's really getting under your skin, is almost 100% of the time a mirror of some dimension, of some aspect within yourself that you have not been able to reconcile, see, or deal with in yourself. I know, that's sometimes not good news, but it is actually really good news. Because if you have to change your spouse in order for you to get on with your life, if you have to change your partner in order for you to feel good and to really enjoy your life, you're not going to be free. They're going to have control over you, and that's not going to feel good, okay? So I have discovered that, let's say for your partner, your spouse, whatever, let's say they're just checked out, chronically checked out, they're not showing up to you, giving you the attention you need. For example, that's because the root of that, now maybe the way it's coming out, the way they're checked out may be completely different than what you're doing. But I guarantee you, if we take a look at your situation long enough, we'll find an area in your life in which you're checked out, which you're not showing up for yourself in some way, shape, or form. And they're just mirroring back that same root to you. Now, that's just one example of many, many others. If you will learn to turn and pivot the focus internally, and ask the question, how is my partner, my lover, whatever, my spouse, how are they mirroring back? What is it that they're mirroring back about me that I need to see about myself? If you'll learn to ask that question, you're on the road to liberation. The second component that I want to share here that could solve so much drama in so many relationships is this. There's a principle here, and we really emphasize it in the coaching work that I do. Where focus goes, energy flows. What you appreciate appreciates. Your superpower as a human being is the decision about where you put your focus. If you will learn to focus the vast majority of your attention on what your partner, I don't care how much of a quote unquote loser you think they are, if you will learn to focus on that one dimension that drew you to them, the one dimension that you love about them, it may be small, it may be challenging at first. If you will learn to focus, refocus your attention on their gifts, on what makes them a beautiful person, on what attracted you to them in the first place, that will grow. What you appreciate will appreciate. That energy will grow, and you will actually see them transform in time to be that person that you desire, because your focus will be on what they bring to the table that you love. What you focus on will grow. If you will drop the expectations, learn to appreciate them, you will see this relationship transform. Because if you focus on what they don't do well, If you focus on what about them frustrates you, that's going to grow, and that will end up taking over the energy of the entire relationship. And I've seen relationships fail because of this. And because of that, the entire trajectory, there's ripple effects of that breakup that will affect you for the rest of your life if you don't learn how to, number one, take control of your own life. Look at the mirror, look at the root in yourself instead of blaming your partner. Look at how they're mirroring something back to you. And number two, learning how to appreciate other people and focusing on their strengths versus their weaknesses. These two things alone will cure almost 100% of drama in most relationships.